Welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about Just No HOA Reddit. Alright, so if you have no clue what we're talking about today, it's kind of like the rage comic. But really, it is not a rage comic because that would imply that there is actually some kind of humor to this. It's more so just people venting about their experiences with homeowner associations. And really, they're just the worst, right? Like there's really nothing funny about them. Alright, so let's jump into this one. Just No HOA. The neighbor just put up a huge privacy fence, blocking the only roadway into our neighborhood. He also owns all the lots around us. So now, we're basically landlocked. We had to go through a ton of hoops to get approval to build the fence in the first place. The neighborhood association made us pay for an extra wide driveway because there is no turning around or anything. They also required us to plant trees along the road to maintain a certain aesthetic. Well, the new owner didn't want to do any of that. They just wanted to put up a big ugly fence. So they went ahead and did it anyway, figuring they'd deal with the fines later. But they got so many violations for the fence that they put up that they probably going to end up selling the house for a loss. I just hope whoever buys it wants to fix the issues. That is a terrible situation. Seriously, though, everyone always talks about how much they hate their HOA. I feel like most of the time it's the neighbors that are causing all these problems. You know, not the actual HOA, because at the end of the day, the HOA is just some dumb bureaucracy. They're not really people. It's the people that are part of that organization that are the real problem. Alright, next one. My neighbors applied for permission to cut down 3 large trees that were planted by my grandparents when they built the house 60 years ago. My grandmother actually requested to be notified if her neighbors were ever thinking about cutting down any trees on their property so she could express her opinions. She is very old and failing in health. Unfortunately, she passed away before the meeting. I spoke with them and told them about her request, and they said they'd keep it in mind. Well, they just sent me a certified letter telling me they intend to cut down the trees. I intend to fight it, but realistically, what can I do? Well, realistically, you should have fought harder when you had the chance, but since you didn't, your best bet is probably just to try to negotiate with them. See if you guys can come to some kind of agreement. Try to convince them to keep at least some of the trees, maybe offer to help pay for the removal of the other ones. Something like that might be your best bet. Just try to be reasonable here because you're not gonna win if you're unreasonable. Next one. The HOA president parked her car in a visitor spot close to my house. Instead of walking that extra 10 feet to her assigned parking spot, which was clearly marked with a red X. When I asked her why she was parked there, she said that I shouldn't be so sensitive and that she was only there for 5 minutes. She then went on to tell me that it is her job to look out for cars parked in her zone and that I should mind my own business. I told her that if she can't take the extra 10 seconds to park in her own spot, then she can take the walk to her spot. She got extremely defensive and called me a name, and I responded by saying that I was officially done being nice. I immediately reported her to the board and told them that she threatened me. What are my chances of winning? Oh, dude. Your chances of winning are like 100% here. Like, what does this woman think that she's gonna do? This is like a classic bully move where they just try to intimidate you and hope that you back down, but that's not gonna happen here. You already reported her to the board, so you've done your part. Now it's just up to them to handle it, which I assume that they will because that's obviously not okay. Alright, next one. My HOA allows boats and RVs to be stored on driveways with a permit. A boat has been sitting on a driveway for the past year without a permit, and the owner hasn't moved it despite warnings from the HOA. We have sent them several warnings. But they simply ignored them until the HOA took them to court. The HOA won the case against them, and the judge ruled that the vehicle must be removed. The owner appealed the ruling and the HOA lost. I understand that things like this can be frustrating, but isn't there something a little more satisfying than driving past a giant RV while on your way to work every morning? How about having a giant RV fall on top of your car while you're sleeping? Karma is a female goat looking for some garden variety revenge. Alright, next one. Our whole president is constantly criticizing the condition of our lawn. There are trees that drop leaves and seeds in our yard, and every time we run our mower, there are dandelions and fescue seed that ends up in our grass. Our whole president came by last week to inspect our yard again. So, we decided to lay some sod in our front yard. It took about 8 hours to lay, plus the cost of the sod. Yesterday, we received a notice that we violated our HOA rules by changing our grass without getting prior approval. The penalty is a fine of $100 per day for each violation. Each day our violation continues, the fine increases by $5. We'll appeal the decision. And in the meantime, we'll enjoy our beautiful new lawn. Okay, yeah, this one's pretty sus. Like it sounds like they just changed the rules after they already knew that you had done it. Sounds like they might be trying to extort you. Either way, I'm glad that you're gonna appeal it because that's obviously not fair. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss another episode of You Had HOA.